What it do? What it do? You know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, comment to my YouTube channel. Most definitely hit that bell icon and notification bell that alert you all content that I drop to my YouTube channel. Also hit the thumbs up, the AKA the like button. YouTube appreciate that. S.L.R Media TV appreciate that. Also hit the subscribe button. Also, I need everybody, all my subscribers, future subscriber, new viewers to check out this video, to go to my second YouTube channel, S.L.R Sports News TV. Great content over there. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment over there. All of that helps my channel grow, get more new viewers, more new subscribers, push it further to the YouTube algorithm. And it's all about building the community here. And this is what I'm trying to do, build a great community here and make this one of the top YouTube channels on YouTube. Also, I appreciate everybody that supports the channel. Continue to support the channel. Make sure you hit the Cash App, $ RCAP SRED 40. All information pinned at the bottom of the tick. Appreciate everybody that hit the Cash App. Continue to support the channel. Shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to my future subscribers. You see the title. You see the title. Rapper Lil Durk faces new charges in murder for hire case. Yes, Lil Durk has been hit. Yeah. Lil Durk has been hit with more new charges. As I said, we're going to get down to the basis of it. The charges he's facing right now, Lil Durk is... Listen, it's about the will of God. He's probably, man, he got to have the motherfucking lucky charm to get out of this. The Fed case, the Feds are trying to lock and seal this. And Lil Durk is facing life in prison, mandatory life in prison, or death, mandatory. There's only two options for Durk. Well, it might be three. If it's the will and the way that he can be able to get out of, is him not being convicted of the charges. But the word is going around that people are talking, and that's enough. And it's not looking good for Durk. One of the top rappers in the game now may be facing mandatory life in federal prison. The man was sitting on top of the world. Now look at. Durk try to play the old school trick, try to turn his life around semi ways, but try to have his foot being legit and his other foot being in the streets. Didn't work. Now his whole circle is telling on him, man. There's no way Durk could probably get out of this. Maybe they'll face the God. But this is the channel where you want to tune into to get all the Lil Durk news content. Shout out to Chicago, to Atlanta, shout out to North Carolina, all the surrounding areas. Shout out to the West Coast, Midwest, East, South. Let's get into this content. Let's get it in the Durkio's world.
You're saying don't push peace, but don't say you're pushing peace and then use it as an excuse to just go kick it with the cool kids in the eyes of the fans or whatever.
My brother, you put it in the nicest way I can say it.
Interesting.
You put it in the nicest way I can say it, brother. Just like that.
I just looked at his channel right now. He did the Duty Low one drop yesterday, and then today, 2 hours ago,
It seems like Durk can't stay out of trouble, even if his life depends on it. Allegedly, he's been orchestrating some truly wild things straight from behind bars. 3 minutes ago, the buzz started flying that Durk's been pulling the strings to deal with OTF Jam's baby mama. Yep, all from his jail cell.
Like, you're searching for love right now, sir. Like, you need someone to love you. Your mama don't love you. You live in that basement, sir. We was on FaceTime, sir. Your bed was in the basement. If it's a bed in the basement, that's your room.
So the U.S. Marshals picked Lil Durk up in Florida on October 24th. Why? Allegedly a elimination for hire plot targeting none other than Quando Rondo. This arrest has spawned a whole web of theories, suggesting Durk might have had his fingers in even more shady dealings, like the deaths of Stephon Mack and Octavia Redmond. Internet sleuths are going wild with this one. Social media influencer and YouTuber Poetic Flacco dropped some spicy screenshots recently. People are running with the idea that Durk was behind a series of retaliatory eliminations, though to be fair, there's not much official evidence to support those claims yet.
Everybody in Chicago and everybody in the drill world in general has been very, very reckless. And I know a lot of dudes from labels who are like, you know, dudes in their 40s and 50s who sign dudes who basically are fucking killers, like nonstop, all the time. And I've always looked at that and thought, this is kind of weird. It's kind of weird that you guys are in a rush to sign these dudes from the Bronx that, to me, it's obvious are like actually sliding.
But let's talk about those supposed connections. First, there's Octavia Redmond. She was just doing her job, delivering mail in West Pullman, South Chicago, when someone lethally hit her multiple times in broad daylight. The whole thing went down on July 19th, 2024. She was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. She passed away at Advocate Christ Medical Center. The shooter's getaway car was later found burned up, real smooth. Surveillance footage even caught the masked suspect hopping into a stolen ride to make his grand escape.
How dare you? And then you could just think you could just get away with it? My members are scared to go to work.
That concern now growing after 48-year-old postal worker Octavia Redmond was gunned down while on the job late Friday morning. Her USPS truck left sitting idle near 122nd and Harvard, where police say someone pulled up and shot her multiple times before driving off.
Eventually, they caught a 15-year-old boy in Iowa and charged him with Octavia's elimination. Extradited back to Chicago, his court date is set for November 1st. And let's be clear here, the authorities have not managed to link Redmond's death to Lil Durk or OTF Jam, despite all the online conspiracy theories floating around. Then there's Stephon Mack. He met his tragic end in January 2022, lethally hit and eliminated while leaving the Youth Peace Center in Roseland. Two gunmen ambushed him. Classic Chicago-style gang violence. Though one security guard at the scene made it out alive. Federal charges were eventually slapped on two suspects, Anthony Montgomery Wilson and Preston Powell, nearly 2 years later in December 2023. While Montgomery Wilson pled not guilty, Powell conveniently disappeared, still at large. And here's where it all gets spicier. Lil Durk's arrest is all tied up in the elimination for hire case involving Lil Pab, a supposed act of revenge for King Von's death. Everyone remembers King Von. He was lethally hit back in November 2020 during a chaotic confrontation involving Quando Rondo's crew. They even had footage of Quando's associate, Timothy Lul Tim Leaks, doing the deed. But thanks to Georgia's Stand Your Ground law, the charges against him were eventually dropped. Self-defense, they say.
Sometimes shit get gangster, cuz I done fake being a gangster in my life. For real. I done grew up and faking like I'm a gangster, knowing I don't even know nothing about being a gangster. But I'm walking around like I'm this, I'm that, I'm acting like this and that, knowing I ain't know none of that. And I came to a point in my life where I'm like, boy, it's time to be gangster.
You feel like you could talk that shit up? Manifest that shit towards
Yeah, boy, I done manifest all the bullshit that happened in my life, boy. I believe in the power of the tongue, boy. And if you don't, boy, you a fool, boy.
Even more, both Lil Durk and his late brother, D Thang, have had their names linked to numerous violent events over the years. But officially, at least, nothing stuck. Not yet anyway. The authorities are still trying to put those pieces together. Fast forward to today. In a big twist, Durk's now facing accusations of orchestrating a whole elimination for hire plot targeting Quando Rondo. They say Durk wanted to settle the score for Von, and he wasn't exactly subtle about it either. Word is, he made it clear in 2020 that he was putting a hit on Quando, and a couple of years later, folks made the trip from Chicago to LA to get the job done. And it's not like Durk was exactly low-key about this revenge mission either. He was throwing shade all over social media and even dropping hints in his music. Remember, Aha? Yeah, not the subtlest diss track. Meanwhile, a bunch of names have surfaced in connection with this plot. We're talking about Kavon London Grant, DeAndre Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay, Lindsay, and Asa Houston. And guess what? They all seem to have ties to OTF or other Chicago gangs. The feds are also looking at a few unnamed co-conspirators, one of whom they're pretty sure is Lil Durk himself. The whole thing sounds like it's straight out of an action movie. Tracking Quando's SUV, sneaking around LA with ski masks and guns, and then, boom, a shootout at a Beverly Hills gas station that ended up eliminating Quando's cousin. Absolutely brazen.
Most do this rap, get blamed for a lot of violence, and still be living in the hood, still doing the same. I'm saying that's backwards. You do better to change, not change to the same.
Of course, with something this big, the authorities aren't playing around. The charges are serious, using interstate commerce facilities in the commission of elimination for hire. And if they're found guilty, life in prison. No joke. And let's not forget the fallout from all of this back in Chicago. Durk had been getting some love for his community work, even had towns giving him keys to their cities. Well, the moment those indictments came down, those mayors were having second thoughts. Broadview's mayor, for example, pulled back their honorary key pretty much immediately. Even Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson got caught in the crossfire. People wanted to know what he was going to do about Durk's donations to his campaign. His response? Well, let's just say he skirted around actually answering whether he'd give the money back. Oh, and speaking of lawsuits, Durk's facing another one on top of everything else. The mother of FBG Duck, a rival rapper who was eliminated in 2020, is suing Durk, King Von, and OTF for allegedly putting a $100,000 bounty on Duck's life. FBG Duck was lethally hit 16 times outside a Dolce & Gabbana store in Chicago, and she claims that Durk's crew even used the feud and Duck's death for clout in their songs, in music videos, everywhere. She's going after Durk and his entire network, including the record labels. If this goes to trial, it's going to be a circus. And that's just scratching the surface. Let's go deeper into the chaos that seems to surround Lil Durk wherever he goes. Remember that CBS News article Poetic Flacco posted about the 2 men charged in alleged elimination for hire slaying in Roseland bit? Well, that case is tangled up with Lil Durk's story too, according to some of the latest theories floating around. The whole thing is a chain reaction of retaliation and alliances. Back in Roseland, Stephon Mack's elimination left everyone wondering who could have been behind it. For months, rumors circled around whether or not this elimination was just another notch in the belt of the ongoing beef between rival factions. The involvement of OTF in the mix has only deepened the speculation. The way the dots connect is pretty crazy. Stephon Mack wasn't just any bystander. He was allegedly connected to some of the rival crews at odds with Durk's OTF. This whole elimination for hire theme isn't just a one-off incident. Folks close to the streets have hinted that there's a code, a sort of you take one of ours, we take one of yours game at play. And guess what? The prosecutors seem to be leaning into that angle pretty hard. They're painting a picture that shows a systematic approach. This isn't just beef, it's organized retaliation. We can't discuss Lil Durk without King Von. The two were practically brothers, and their bond went beyond the music. When Von was eliminated, it wasn't just a tragic loss for Durk, it was a declaration of war. People say that Von's death changed Durk. He lost his smile, his hope. That's when he allegedly turned to darker methods, including the infamous bounty on Quando Rondo.
Life ain't shit without females. I was shit without the hoes on the block and shit. So
right. There'd be nothing to fight over if it wasn't for them. Really.
You wouldn't even, why you getting fly? I wouldn't even be buying this shit. All this shit for girls and shit.
That's a good point. I'm lacking over here.
You see what I'm saying?
That's why I had the same girl.
You got
for
the
so
tattoos though. I don't think you had tattoos.
That's white boy jewelry for sure. Yeah, I had to get the throat tattoo when I was like 19.
You got to think about it. We do everything for females.
I didn't even know about chains when I was 19. I probably would have got a chain instead of a neck tattoo.
I hope she think this raw. I hope she think this cute. I hope this make I like me.
The feud between Quando Rondo and Durk goes beyond just King Von's death. It's personal, it's emotional, and it's raw. Quando was Von's rival, but the confrontation that night in Atlanta was a boiling point that left King Von dead. The fact that Timothy Lul Tim Leaks walked away under the shield of Georgia's stand your ground law didn't sit well with Durk. And it's not hard to imagine why. Von wasn't just an artist on Durk's label, he was family. And this bond is exactly what prosecutors are hoping to use against Durk, painting him as a man hell-bent on revenge, someone who would stop at nothing to avenge his fallen brother. This all leads us to the elimination for hire involving Lul Pab. According to sources, it was all orchestrated by Durk in retaliation for Von's death. Lul Pab wasn't even the original target, but more like collateral damage, a lethal hit taken in a mission that was supposed to get to Quando Rondo. Instead, it took the life of his cousin, leaving Quando himself shaken but alive. Durk's public behavior after Von's death also didn't help his case. The tracks he released, the posts he made, all of them pointed to revenge, to unfinished business. Authorities are looking at it all as Durk practically leaving breadcrumbs for them to follow. Music is an art, but in Durk's case, the feds argue, it's also a confession. It's no secret that law enforcement has been keeping a close eye on Durk for years, but his connections go deeper than just being a rapper with a criminal record. Durk's late brother, D. Thang, also played a significant role in all of this. D. Thang was a high-ranking member of OTF, and his influence was felt throughout Chicago. D. Thang's death only further ignited tensions, another loss that demanded vengeance, at least in the eyes of those who believed in the eye for an eye mindset. Durk's legal troubles didn't start with King Von or D. Thang. He's been facing charges on and off for years, everything from gun possession to attempted elimination. And every time he managed to dodge prison, it seemed like there was just another charge waiting for him around the corner. Law enforcement agencies are building a narrative that paints Lil Durk as not just a rapper, but the leader of a criminal enterprise, a man whose lyrics are more about instruction manuals than storytelling. Let's talk about the FBI affidavit, the one that talks about OTF being more than a music collective. It's an organized group, a gang, that operates with military precision. Durk, referred to by his legal name Banks, is depicted as the man in charge, the mastermind. The FBI claims that OTF has been responsible for numerous acts of violence, all orchestrated to maintain their standing in the streets and eliminate threats to their reputation. It's a classic RICO-style narrative, the kind that has brought down mafia bosses and cartel kingpins. Durk's team, of course, denies all of this. They say OTF is just a label, a group of artists trying to make their way in the music world. But the feds aren't buying it. The affidavit goes into detail about how members of OTF supposedly carried out acts of violence at Durk's direction, including putting bounties on rival gang members. And that's where the connection to Quando Rondo's crew comes in. This isn't just about rap, it's about power, influence, and keeping a grip on the streets. Then there's the attempted flight. When Lil Durk tried to flee, it seemed like an admission of guilt to many. Booked flights to Dubai, Switzerland, and even Italy, it reads like the actions of a man who knew his time was up. But according to his lawyers, it wasn't quite that dramatic. They argue that Durk knew he had a warrant and wanted to see if he'd be flagged trying to leave the country. A risky move, but one that's supposedly common in the world of high-stakes legal drama. Durk's arrest in Miami, just before he could board a private jet to Italy, was a spectacle. The feds swooped in, and Durk didn't stand a chance. To law enforcement, it was proof of his consciousness of guilt, that he was trying to escape and avoid facing the charges against him. His lawyers argue otherwise, saying it was all a misunderstanding. But come on, who books multiple international flights just to see if they have a warrant? It's a tough sell. The fallout from this arrest has been swift. Durk was once seen as a reformed man, someone who was trying to give back to his community. He had received keys to cities, he was celebrated for his contributions, but all of that goodwill evaporated as soon as the allegations surfaced. Mayors distanced themselves, and even those who initially supported Durk began to backtrack. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson's response was especially telling. When pressed about whether he'd return the donations Durk had made to his campaign, Johnson dodged the question, offering only vague platitudes about due process and not judging someone before their trial. And just when you thought things couldn't get worse for Durk, there's the lawsuit from FBG Duck's mother. She's not just suing Durk, she's going after the entire infrastructure that supports him. The lawsuit names not only OTF and King Von, but also the record labels that work with Durk, including Sony and Interscope. The accusation that Durk and his team used the death of her son as a marketing tool, that they profited off his elimination by incorporating the feud into their music. FBG Duck's elimination was another high-profile eliminating that rocked Chicago. Lethally hit 16 times outside a high-end store. It was the kind of brazen attack that sent shockwaves through the city. And to hear Duck's mother tell it, OTF played a role in making it happen. The $100,000 bounty, the disses in songs, the references in music videos, it all added up to a campaign of terror that ultimately cost her son his life. The lawsuit is a bold move, and it's one that could have massive implications for the music industry. If she wins, it could set a precedent that holds artists and labels accountable for the content they produce. It's a slippery slope. Where do you draw the line between artistic expression and incitement? But for now, it's just another battle that Durk has to fight, another headache on top of everything else. So, where does all of this leave Lil Durk? He's facing multiple charges, lawsuits, and the very real possibility of spending the rest of his life in prison if convicted. His music, once seen as a reflection of his environment, is now being used against him as evidence of his criminal intent. The feds are building a case that paints Durk as more than just a rapper. He's a leader, a strategist, someone who uses his platform to orchestrate violence and maintain his position of power. The trial, if it happens, could be a landmark case. It's not just about Lil Durk. It's about the intersection of music, influence, and crime. It's about whether or not an artist can be held responsible for the actions of their followers, whether lyrics can be seen as literal threats rather than metaphorical expressions. And it's about the role that law enforcement plays in policing not just the streets, but also the culture that comes out of those streets. Those streets. The Chicago-born rapper, a major player in the drill music scene, seems to have as many hits in the courtroom as he does on Spotify. And honestly, that seems to be part of the brand, for better or worse. Let's rewind to where it all started. Back in 2011, Durk got popped on a weapons charge. Not even out of the gate yet, and he's already in cuffs. He served 3 months before being let out on bond, only to finish up an 87-day stint. This was just the beginning, and if we're being honest, it's almost like he was trying to lay down his own criminal backstory. A necessary accessory in the drill scene, perhaps? Fast forward to 2013, and surprise, surprise, Durk gets arrested again for unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. Apparently, the police caught him trying to toss a gun into his car as they approached, because sure, that'll totally work, right? This incident further sealed his reputation, not just as a rapper, but as someone neck-deep in Chicago's mix of gang violence and run-ins with the law. Drill music and criminal records go together like peanut butter and jelly, and Durk was making sure everyone knew it. Then there was the whole 2019 fiasco in Atlanta, which really turned up the heat. Durk turned himself in over a shooting that happened outside the Varsity, a well-known restaurant in Atlanta. The story goes like this. Some guy named Alexander Witherspoon ended up lethally hit and robbed of $30,000, a chain, and his car. Durk, along with fellow rapper King Von, got slapped with attempted elimination and aggravated assault charges, among others. The prosecution even had surveillance footage that they said showed Durk firing a gun from a car. Durk's team tried to poke holes in the evidence, but apparently it wasn't enough because the judge found enough probable cause to keep the charges rolling. The timing couldn't have been worse. Durk was riding high in his career, and now he was facing the very real possibility of spending a chunk of it behind bars. But in 2022, the legal gods smiled on him, and the charges were dropped. The Fulton County DA decided it wasn't worth prosecuting, even though there was enough to arrest him initially. It's like they just decided they had better things to do. Either way, for Durk, it was a huge relief. Time to focus on rapping instead of avoiding a prison sentence. And then there's the story that just keeps getting messier. The elimination of rival Chicago rapper FBG Duck, aka Carlton Weekly. In August 2020, FBG Duck was gunned down in broad daylight in Chicago's Gold Coast, a part of town where people aren't exactly used to ducking bullets. This wasn't just another headline about Chicago violence. It was an escalation of a feud between Duck's crew, Tocqueville, and O-Block, the latter being linked to Durk's label, Only the Family. For years, this beef played out in diss tracks and real-world violence. But the stakes got higher when FBG Duck's mother, Lashina Weekly, filed a wrongful death lawsuit in 2023. She went after Lil Durk, King Von's estate, and their label, claiming they'd monetized the violence that got her son eliminated. According to her, songs like King Von's Took Her to the O were all part of a calculated effort to profit off this bloody rivalry. The lawsuit didn't stop at Durk and Von. It also took aim at major record labels like Sony, arguing they were complicit in all this mess. After all, they're the ones backing these artists, promoting these tracks, and making a buck off of real-life tragedies. It's a big question. How much responsibility do these corporations hold when they're raking in millions off of street violence glorified through music? And honestly, it's hard not to see their point when you look at the cycle of beefs, diss tracks, and actual deaths. It's like a feedback loop where the violence in the music fuels the violence in the streets, which then gets turned into more music. FBG Duck's mom seems to think so too, accusing Durk and his label of using her son's death as a tool for profit. And if she's right, it's not just Durk who's at fault, but the entire system propping him up, from record labels to streaming platforms. But there's another side to this. Supporters of drill artists like Durk argue that their music is just a reflection of their reality, a way to give voice to what they've lived through. They see the crackdown on these rappers as another form of systemic racism, an attempt to silence black voices that are simply speaking their truth. To them, Durk's legal troubles are just another example of how the system tries to shut down anyone who doesn't fit the mold of what's acceptable art. A huge question hanging over all of this is whether an artist should be held responsible for the actions of their listeners or for real-world violence connected to their lyrics. The lawsuit by FBG Duck's mom might be the test case that decides that. Could it set a precedent for holding rappers accountable for what they say in their songs? If the suit goes through, it's not just Durk who'll feel the heat. This could change the whole music industry, especially when it comes to backing artists who flirt with the line between storytelling and outright instigation. It raises uncomfortable questions about where free speech ends and where responsibility begins. Questions that the music industry might not be ready to answer, but can't ignore forever. And let's not forget the record labels in all this. They're the ones making the real money, while the artists are left to deal with the fallout, be it legal troubles, street retaliation, or worse. The lawsuit doesn't just call out Durk, it points fingers at Sony and others, suggesting that these companies have been happy to turn a blind eye as long as the cash keeps flowing. If they get dragged into this and held accountable, we could be looking at a major shift in how labels handle artists with controversial and dangerous backgrounds. Lil Durk, depending on who you ask, he's either a raw, talented artist who clawed his way to the top against all odds, or the poster boy for everything wrong with drill music. His entire career has been this tightrope walk, balancing between mainstream success and the kind of street life that's always trying to pull him back down. That's what makes Durk such an interesting figure. He's constantly one misstep away from the headlines, making music that's real enough to be dangerous, sometimes too real. Durk's story makes us deal with some uncomfortable truths, like what happens when art imitates life a little too closely. The violence, the rivalries, the lawsuits, they're not side stories, they're the main plot. And as long as the streams keep coming in, as long as the fans are still hooked, Durk's gonna keep walking that line between being a rap star and being the next cautionary tale. It's almost like we're just watching, waiting to see if he makes it out or becomes another statistic. It's tempting to see Durk as just another guy trying to shake off a rough past. But those legal issues, they're not just drama. They've had very real effects on his career. Every time he got dragged into court, it wasn't just about the judge or the charges. It was also about the court of public opinion. In the rap game, your reputation is everything. Those legal fights didn't just shape Durk's life. They shaped how the entire industry saw him. For a while, it felt like the arrests were almost more central to his story than the music was. When he caught that weapons charge back in 2011, just as he was trying to make a name for himself, the narrative shifted. Instead of just being about the music, it was about survival. And yeah, in the drill scene, survival sells. The street cred is part of the package. Durk's fans loved him not just for his sound, but for the rawness behind it. The struggles, the missteps, it all added up to the authenticity that's a big deal in that world. But the downside? For a long time, it felt like his music was chained to his legal troubles. His 2013 arrest for unlawful use of a weapon by a felon just reinforced the image. Durk, the guy who couldn't shake his past. It didn't matter that he was talented. People couldn't help but wonder if he'd ever managed to stay out of trouble long enough to hit his stride. The constant legal drama definitely had an impact. Sure, Durk kept dropping tracks, but there was always this cloud hanging over everything he did. How do you fully get behind an artist when there's a very real chance they could vanish into the system at any moment? His fans stuck by him, but it's hard not to feel like they were always bracing for bad news. When the charges finally got dropped in 2022, it felt like a fresh start. Like maybe, just maybe, Durk could finally focus on what really mattered, the music. And who knows, maybe now he can leave all that other stuff behind, for real this time. Considering all of Lil Durk's legal battles and accusations, do you think his music is just artistic expression, or should he be held accountable for the violent themes? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Let's go to where it all started, where the downfall. I'm gonna play the content. Let's go where the downfall. It all started with Lil Durk and King Von. Let's roll the footage. Let's show the downfall. This was the start. This was the start and the downfall. This what had the feds on Lil Durk.
Criminal street gang activity, possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, and possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. As it relates to 19 CP 183-693 involving defendant Daydon Bennett, the court finds probable cause for possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony, participation in a criminal street gang activity, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and criminal attempt to commit murder. Court notes that, and as everyone is aware here, the standard here is a probable cause standard, which is a far lower standard in the standard beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the jury trial standard. And as it relates to the charge of participation in criminal street gang activity, as to both of these defendants and both of these indictments, I do believe that the state has hurdled over that particular burden. If they've met probable cause and they've been able to surpass probable cause, I do believe that the state has more work to do as it relates to that particular charge in these indictments. In reaching a beyond a reasonable doubt standard. And I'm sure that the state is working to continue to investigate and will make whatever decisions they deem appropriate to make that particular burden at the appropriate juncture. All right?
If I may briefly, Judge, on behalf of Mr. Bennett, we are going to be asking the state to expedite the case. We're going to want to exercise our right under the Sixth Amendment of the Georgia Constitution to a speedy trial, and pursuant to the case of Barker versus Wingo. So we're looking forward to the case being indicted in an expedited fashion, and then we'd like the case to be brought to trial as soon as possible.
All right. Good. Let's get this all right. As it relates to the issue of bond, a bond motion has been filed by Mr. Aurora and I presume Mr. Smith, and bond will be taken up by another judge on a date set by that judge. All right, and so you all will be, that judge will be in communication with you regarding when your bond hearing will take place. All right, thank you all.
You need to request a reset date for the purposes. I'm going to be asking for a 4-week reset.
Yep, that was it right there. That was the start and the end of Lil Durk. That right there, because I think after King Von died, I think they said they was gonna charge King Von with the charge. So you gotta look at it as, you know what I'm saying, King Von took the charge with Durk. So at the end of the day, Durk was in, he owed King Von. So that will all led up to where Durk is at now. It started with the court appearance with him and King Von, and it ends with him in a court appearance, this time without King Von. But everything surrounded King Von. Facts. That day in the court in Atlanta was the start and the end of Durk Banks and King Von.
By the way, did you see the latest breaking news on the Durk shit?
What was it? What you got?
Oh my God. So apparently, the way they arrested him last night, you were right on the arrest. We got to give it up. Listen, Wack is not 100%. I even apologize publicly for doubting Wack 100 and the exposers. The exposers have came through yet again. Now, they said, so the other dudes got indicted via grand jury, which was they had that indictment for a couple months. Now, remember, I was skeptical that Durk was getting picked up the same day because his name is now on the indictment. We get to find out, you know how he got arrested? A federal agent phoned into the judge and did a complaint. So they're gonna have some type of grand jury stuff on him. But they said that they were monitoring Durk and he had booked a flight to go to Italy. And they said, oh, this thing is running. That's why they locked him up last night.
Yeah, they say he booked like 3 different flights, Switzerland over there.
You know the reason why they picked Puffy up a night early because his plane, his jet, landed in Teterboro.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. That's what people don't realize.
A lot of people don't know that Puff rents the jet out.
Oh, damn. Hey, tell
count this much.
Tell me what's going on, Jim.
Hey, you know what's so crazy though? Motherfucker be sitting up there doing all this, sneak this and internet games and all this. Up some money, do something. Like, we winning, bro. I can do it. Whatever it is I want to do, I can do it. Not what I want to do what I want. Y'all can't do that, bro. Goof ass.
Bro got out what?
You know that
How many you did all?
How many years I did it now?
Yeah. That's your last bit. 12?
12.
That boy popped out 12 years. So much money. We really was just getting that shit in order to just figure out the lanes, man, boy.
This shit feels so good, man. 2 lawyers, man.
I can tell them about the building you got?
Everything.
Man, it's closed on the building, man. We ain't fucking around.
You know that we did it. It's our turn.
The crazy part about this is like maybe a couple hours ago, it's come out that they had wiretaps of Durk allegedly trying to clean up the people he think might tell. Now, if that...
What do you mean by clean up?
Okay.
That can be taken a few different ways.
No, they saying they got wiretaps, allegedly, that Durk is saying, get these people out the way. Damn. Now, that's the case. We have a murder for hire, which carries life.
Mm-hmm.
Attempted murder for hire, because Quando's in the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
And
that was the intended target, by the way, Quando.
And whatever conspiracies for however many people he may have mentioned, right, was not going to help him is the confusion he tried to of him, his travel. He had one flight going to Dubai, one flight going to Switzerland, but then he had a PJ
go to Italy, I think.
Going to Italy.
Yeah.
Right? All booked different places, but all of these require your passport. So unless you got a totally different passport, it doesn't matter where you got your passport registered to fly out of.
Yeah, because shit, you just came home not too long ago. Like when you come home.
So I've been home a little bit over a year.
Yeah. Okay.
A little bit over a year. 12 years flat.
12 years.
Like 12 years. Did my time. Ain't told on nobody.
Right.
Ain't no food shit on my name. Now I'm back. I'm living a life I never thought I'd live. You know?
Good shit. Hell yeah, but like, if you can't talk about it, like, why did you have to sit down for 12?
I went to jail for attempt.
Okay.
Attempt murder. It was more than that, but shit, that's what I did my time for.
Okay.
Attempt. You know, street shit.
Yeah. But shit, like, how did you even get linked in with this OTF period?
Man, shit. LinkedIn. I already do LinkedIn. This ain't no people I met. Nah, I knew them. Like I'm saying, this was before jail. I know Durk was rapping. He had that. We came out that loud one lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, like before y'all never even heard of that. Like this was shit in our parties, like personal shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's bro. You know what I'm saying? My whole time in jail, that stayed, bro. Like before the money, you know what I'm saying? That was bro. Like I remember when the money wasn't there. First I'm gonna say you 50, I got you, and I gave my lawyer money and everything when I fight my case.
I ain't gonna lie, Durk come through.
All that, like
Durk come through.
that's sure. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Like I know I'm a real witness. Like
a lot of niggas can't say anything.
Like in my life, my whole time in jail, I was straight.
What's up? Like he was one of the main motherfuckers that held you down your whole bid.
Hell yeah. A lot of the guys did, but hell yeah, he was.
I hood like that though.
Yeah.
I hood like that. No, he go right behind. Everybody get taken care of.
Everybody get taken care of.
No gang shit, none of that shit. It's like some family shit.
Right.
My brother locked up.
Yeah. We always came together and made sure the guys were straight, right? Shit, this before
he
I was
like
going
rich.
to out home and all type of shit. That shit was mandatory, like hell yeah, bro, like played this part for sure, like overplayed it. I love bro for that. Can't this shit forever.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's super solid, but like a lot of niggas, like, you know what I'm saying? He said, Jam get out that jam and give him 50, he ain't got to ask again, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't got to ask shit, bro. He said he gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fact.
More than that. More than that.
But so, can you tell us how much he gave you, or you don't want to even?
No, we ain't got to get into all that, but bro made sure he made a way for me to be straight, like he's saying, gotta ask again, you know, like shit. Crib, car, all that. They let me take care of anything I need to take care of, period. Like, it's still up.
That's what we do.
Lil Durk actually did slide for King Von, however it costed him everything. Reports would just be released moments ago. 5 Chicago gang members with ties to Lil Durk's OTF accused of being hired to deal with Quando Rondo in LA for the incident where Lil Pab sadly was targeted as revenge for King Von. The suspects are facing life penalties. The indictment alleges flights, rental cars, and everything was paid for with credit cards that are linked to OTF. Once this news broke out, we would even see an announcement of rapper Lil Durk has been reportedly arrested following the recent arrests of other OTF members, alongside DJ Academics reacting to it on live stream.
Well, so this is what we got, and you tell me if we're hot or cold. We believe, and I'm hoping this isn't true. This is one of the times I want to be wrong, because this is my man. Okay? We believe that co-conspirator 1 seems to be aiming at somebody who's a boss within the OTF organization that could call that could put money up and also promise music opportunities. It appears that it's aiming at someone who would be Durk, or could be Durk's brother who passed. But the only person living would be Durk. It could be Durk. It's looking like it could be Durk. When I read it at first,
in the kitchen.
I'm in the kitchen. That's what you think.
I'm over here with my homeboys. This is sick.
As shortly after, the police files would start being released online, showing Lil Durk's ties to those that were arrested, and it is very concerning. It was announced mugshots released for 3 of the 5 Chicago suspects allegedly involved in revenge for King Von against Quando Rondo's friend Lil Pab. Didi, Vonnie, and Boogie were all arrested, alongside footage of them being shared into the police file of King Von shopping for jewelry with all of the suspects with them.
Solitary stone.
We just looked at him, man.
Let's go over there.
What up, bro?
Boss, you good? My boy.
Let's go. They got real in here, man, because he just stepped in. The money man just stepped in.
As this proves that all of these men that were arrested were extremely close with King Von as well as Lil Durk, as the Lil Pub case was silent for a very long time. This was, however, until reports of an OTF snitch was lurking and telling to get out of his own 12-year sentence, stating, and I quote, OTF Jam rumored to be snitching, he apparently bit the cheese, as OTF Jam was facing a 12-year prison sentence on his own. However, the feds broke him a deal saying that you're free to go if you can give us information on the Lil Pab passing, as the police files regarding the investigation of Lil Pab is extremely disturbing. Lil Durk and OTF went hard against NBA YoungBoy's affiliate Quando Rondo and his crew for his involvement with Von's passing. At first, Quando didn't want any beef. He even begged Lil Durk to stop in DMs, since Lil Durk had been buying out all the venues for Quando's upcoming shows, making him lose out on a ton of money. When Quando knew that Durk wouldn't let it go, he would then release the song Soul Reaper, saying, and I quote, man ran up on me, then we sprayed him, I'm talking lights out. We do the dash in that Durango, jump out with the pipe out, so tell them to pipe down. Now, Lil Durk didn't diss back for a very long time. This was likely due to him plotting and making a contract for those that want to get revenge for King Von to earn some sort of financial gain in doing so, as suddenly we would hear the news of Quando's crew getting hit at a gas station.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
As it would be this moment where Lil Pab sadly lost his life at the gas station, Durk would end up claiming to be behind the hit, as he would release a song not too longer with the lyrics, they like Durk, he a singer, he won't do something, you can believe whatever you want, I got your folks hit. Now, Quando knew that he had to retaliate, so he would end up dissing King Von and his sister in his track, Want Me Gone. He would say, and I quote, my favorite op gone, but his sister talked too much, no I don't like her, Lil Timmy rolled her brother up, he got stepped on in some Nike kicks. However, Lil Durk would put a quick end to this in his feature with Babyface Ray. This is what truly got the attention of the feds, starting to breathe down the back of Lil Durk and the entire OTF empire. He would poke fun at Quando Rondo for his reaction when he learned that he lost his best friend. He would end up rapping the lyrics, you look on the news and see your son screaming no no. As when Quando Rondo got the news that Lil Pab sadly passed, he started screaming on the sidewalk, screaming no.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
However, there's a lot more to this story, and allow me to explain. Inside of the police files, it also ends up dating back to the Lil Durk and NBA YoungBoy beef, because YoungBoy's artist Quando Rondo was at the scene of the crime when King Von sadly passed, and his friend Lil Tim was the one who did it. But years before the passing, Lil Durk and YoungBoy were allegedly good friends. They linked up on the track titled My Side, although both parties started going at it when Von started beefing with YB before he sadly passed.
Young boy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
He talking crazy on this one.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that.
Oh!
On this man.
On this.
Cap. You got cap in your raps. YB a straight not catching his that.
As not long after, King Von started releasing photos of hanging out with YoungBoy's baby mom, raising tensions even more. YoungBoy responded with a post captioned, I'ma have my son get with your daughter since you trolling. And he even made a track with King Von's ex-girlfriend Asian Doll just to get back at him. The two continued to have back and forth between the years, but once King Von sadly passed, the police would note that NBA YoungBoy was very disrespectful to the entire O-Block team when he released the track titled Bring the Hook. They would have in the file these lyrics, this that Squid Game, O-Block pack get rolled up, what they told us, Atlanta boy get fold up, with them believing there's gonna be an ongoing feud between NBA YoungBoy's crew that has ties with Quando Rondo versus all of Lil Durk's teams. As YoungBoy continued on the track saying, no like I know, rapping, I don't care, my man just like your friend, you'll bite the dust. Lil Durk knew that he had to respond. The feds, they had this saved, as he would drop the song Aha, hitting back saying, and I quote, quote, "They acting like they like that since my Brody passed. I told Vaughn to leave that girl alone," she posted on the fans. Durk didn't hold back with the release, hinting that they got their get back against NBA YoungBoy and Quando Rondo, which they did. As Lil Durk would rap the lyrics, "We've been sliding through they blocks, they don't know we have, Buddy got hit and we can't claim it, but I can show them." As ever since Lil Durk dropped that song, the feds have been quickly investigating everything that he does.
DJ Academics is saying you and NBA YoungBoy beef is done. Is that true?
What beef?
Oh, so there's no beef.
Beef who?
NBA YoungBoy?
Shut up, more.
However, what's more concerning is an interview from Ruga, who would end up revealing that he's allegedly scared for his life because of Lil Durk. Anyone in the actual street life that is going back and forth between O Block and 63rd, all of these street teams that are going to war every single day against each other, they know something about Lil Durk that we don't, and the police are just trying to figure it out every single day.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
What?
No Durk, man.
No Durk questions?
Talk about Durk, bro. I don't even want to mention that name in this interview.
As it really makes you wonder, did the FBG duck passing also have any connections to Lil Durk as well? We know that it had King Von connections, but Lil Durk seems to be a forgotten member in all of these street beefs until now.
When he witnessed two cars stop in the middle of Oak Street, 4 men got out and started.
It was very rapid. There was no stop.
Word is spreading on social media that the 26-year-old man pronounced dead is a well-known Chicago rapper.
What is that single event that has had the most effect in your life? For Quando Rondo, it is this.
12 minutes after half a dozen people were shot and 2 others were killed. We have new video tonight of the deadly shooting outside a hookah lounge.
Rapper King Von was one of the men killed. The GBI is now investigating because 2 officers also fired shots.
For Quando, ever since Vaughn passed away, every second, every minute, every unknown shadow that colors Quando's curtains, every weird-looking dude that works towards him, every unknown sound, every car that seems to have been following him for too long, and of course, every gunshot makes him wonder, is this the day they come for him? Is this the day someone slides for Vaughn? It's undoubtedly an unfortunate situation. And on the 19th of August, 2022, Quando must have felt that day had finally come.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say shot at a Savannah rapper, killing a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath. Shots fired, a fight taken to the streets, and this chaotic scene, the ending of a shooting that started in Los Angeles, California.
Although Quando survived the shooting, you could tell he was devastated by this incident.
Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV.
At around 5:30 p.m., Quando Rondo and his entourage were at a mobile gas station in Beverly Grove, just a street across from the popular Beverly station. Unfortunately for Quando and his homies, they were just a few seconds from being ambushed and shot in execution style. After filling up the car, and just as they were about to leave the gas station, a white 4-door sedan arrived at the alley way right next to the station. 3 men popped out of the vehicle and began shooting at Quando's black Cadillac.
They gassed up their vehicle, and as they were getting into their vehicle, a white car approached from the alley. 3 men got out of that car. They were in all dark clothing. They approached, fired numerous shots.
Quando and his men were indeed caught off guard, and their car was shot at multiple times. But while they were being sprayed with bullets, the driver manages to start the car and rushes out of the station. And this is surely what saved Quando's life. The black Escalade eventually stops in the middle of West Hollywood, a few blocks away from the crime scene, and specifically not far away from the sheriff's station. Someone in the car then called 911, but by the time the paramedics arrived at the scene, one of Quando's closest friends, Lil Pab, was dead. And Quando's reaction to Lil Pab's lifeless body being pulled out of the vehicle shows you just how close the duo were. Quando even released a song titled Long Live Pab as a tribute to his close friend. Then he also put up several posts on Instagram mourning the loss of his dear friend, including a picture where Quando showed that a picture of himself and Lil Pab is the lock screen wallpaper of his phone. However, whenever Quando shares a post about his dead friend, Most of the comments under his post aren't commiserating or consoling him about his loss. Instead, the rapper's comment section is spammed with comments mocking him for the loss of his dear friend. For every Lil Pab picture Quando shares, most of the comments he gets are from fans claiming that they slide for Von and got revenge for his death, while the other half are insinuating that Lil Durk finally got revenge for King Von's death. Now, no one can confirm for sure whether Durk did put out the hit that got Lil Pab killed. However, these rumors started partly because of Durk's lyrics. On the remix of the song Who Wants Smoke, Durk rapped that people keep trolling him on his page by saying slide for Von, but he already got revenge in blood, but people just don't know it. Durk might have even referenced the Lil Pab shooting in this song, as he also said that people die for pumping gas. The rumors that Durk might be responsible for Lil Pab's death were also started because of a video posted by DJ Academics. DJ Academics posted a video at the same gas station where Lil Pab was killed, but the interesting part of this video was that he had Lil Durk's song Sensation playing in the background, and it was also clear and intentional that Academics wanted everyone to know where he was and what specific song was playing. However, some sources state that Durk might not even be involved at all. Some people believe that Quando and his goons were attacked because they didn't check in with the Crips and because they disrespected the land when they got to Cali.
If you from out of town and you banging the hood from California, you don't deal with the same we deal with in LA. So you claiming this for a fashion, and then we really out here dying. Yeah, we feel betrayed. We will book your ass.
The man who is speaking in the video you just saw is called Brick Baby. Brick Baby is not only a member of the Crips, he is also a member of OTF. And this is one of the reasons why a number of people are suggesting that Durk is responsible for the death of Lil Pab. In fact, Brick Baby might have even self-snitched in a No Jumper interview. He stated that many people claim you can't say slide for Von anymore because of the death of Lil Pab.
Slide for Von, right? Yeah.
They say you can't say that.
Why? Oh yeah, because of no. Like who died?
You can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Or who?
Nah, because Lil Pab.
Still, what makes the entire scenario even more interesting is that there was a time when Quando Rondo, Lil Durk, King Von, and even NBA Youngboy all got along. This was the time before what started as a rap beef became an interstate gang war. Back in March 2019, just a year before King Von passed away, he and Quando were even hanging out backstage at a concert. In fact, the duo were wearing matching outfits, and Quando was even hyping Von up and dissing 63rd Street, who are King Von's major ops in Chicago.
I'm saying though, 63rd, dirty ass. I'm talking about, hey, listen, though, man, 64, 63rd, they smoking crack.
Obviously, this was a time where there was peace between OTF and NBA. And in August 2019, Lil Durk posted a list of his 50 greatest rappers of all time on Instagram. And Lil Durk included both NBA Youngboy and Quando Rondo on this list. During this period, Durk and Youngboy even collaborated on one of his songs. He featured Youngboy on his song My Side in November 2017. It seems Durk even tried to sign Youngboy in the same year, because Youngboy rapped on the intro to his song GG Tell OTF I Do Not Sign, NBA That Be My Gang. But it's not only Durk and Youngboy that used to kick it together. Even Quando Rondo has a song with Lil Durk. On Quando's first commercial mixtape, Life Before Fame, he featured Durk on the track. Quando was a fan of Lil Durk's music, and he dropped Durk's name on several of his songs. On the song Dope Boy Dreams, Quando rapped, "Signed to the streets 3 times, I feel like Durkio." And on the song in my section, Quando even had more praises for Lick Durk, praising him for giving him advice he gave me about the industry. During this period, Durk even mentioned Quando as one of the rappers he had been spending time with in the studio. In fact, even Lil Pab was a fan of the man whom many believed ordered the shooting that took his life. Lil Pab once tweeted about Durk's song, "This ain't what you want," praising Durk for the quality of the song. All of this is why many people were surprised when OTF and NBA started beefing. No one knows exactly when they all started having issues. However, it seems the beef started just around the same time that Quandon and King Von were seen hanging out backstage. Von was on an Instagram live with his fans, and after some time, the grandson started having a go at Youngboy.
Youngboy? Why? Damn.
Hang up. But it's like you cheating. Go ahead, say you hang up.
No,
I just laughed. You
yeah,
cool, right?
So I can't see
you ain't all that, you know.
A month after this Instagram Live, Von would continue dissing and disrespecting NBA Youngboy. In an Instagram Live video, King Von stated that Youngboy was capping on his songs.
Youngboy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
You talking crazy on this man.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that. Oh! On his ass, man. On his ass. All that cap. You got cap in your raps.
Go straight, boss. Don't hit the white lady.
You got cap in your raps.
Von was insinuating that fake gangster and that he wasn't real or living the life he rapped about in his songs. During this period, the beef was about sneak disses and subliminals in their songs. When Youngboy was released from jail on August 15, 2019 for a shooting that violated his probation, King Von welcomed him home with a tweet that called him ugly. At this point, it still wasn't fully clear whether there was real beef between OTF and NBA or maybe it was just a healthy competition. In October 2019, when DJ Academics tweeted that NBA Youngboy was the realest street rapper, Lil Durk responded with his own tweet, naming King Von was the realest instead. In February 2020, earlier in the same year that Von was shot, King Von put out a tweet that suggested he and Youngboy even had a song together, stating that Youngboy should drop the song rather than holding it to his chest. However, the issue that seemed to make the beef between Youngboy and Von quite serious was because of King Von's girlfriend Asian Doll and NBA's baby mama Jania. Von and Asian Doll were in love, and he had always shown that he's possessive of his woman. He once posted a video showing that he beat someone up in the studio for calling his girlfriend a
Asian the reason my hair like this. Somebody called my girlfriend a yesterday. And you ain't gonna smack one of them for me.
However, in the summer of 2020, Von and Asian were going through a complicated on and off stage. Von would sometimes tweet that they had broken up, and other times he would tweet about how close they were, and it seemed he could not even get enough of her. But a few months after this, it seemed King Von and Asian Doll had completely called it quits, as Von shared pictures of himself holding hands with someone new. On the same day, Von put out another tweet stating that no one would believe the female he just made a hit with. Many of the comments under this post stated that King Von had been seen hanging out with NBA Youngboy's baby mama Jania Mesha. Various pictures were later released that confirmed that King Von was indeed messing around with the mother of NBA's fourth child. For a man like NBA Youngboy, whose street cred is very important for his brand, this was a clear sign of disrespect and humiliation. The situation even became worse when tweets by King Von's sister began rumors that Von and Jania might have even made a sex tape during the time they spent together. An inside source even claimed that they didn't record any song the night they were in the studio together, and they just had slept together instead. And Von seemed to confirm this rumor on the song Rock Gold with PNB Rock when he suggested that someone's baby mama was bad in bed. Jania eventually denied the rumors and insisted that they only made music together so that she could make her money to feed her son.
We walked to the table to play the little game after my studio session, and I went home. That's it. Y'all trying to make stories out of nothing. Ain't nobody for the streets. I'm just trying to get my money to take care of my son. Period.
This was the period when the beef between OTF and NBA was escalating. Around the same time, and for some unknown reason, King Von's childhood friend Lil Reese tweeted that he would beat up Quando Rondo when he sees him. Quando replied with a video stating that Reese was only capable of doing nothing.
Man, that ain't gonna do nothing. You don't need no academics. Man, you don't deserve to live no more, bit, bro. I hope you... Oh, God.
This video was confirmation that there was now a full-blown beef between King Von Durk, Youngboy, and Quando Rondo. This wasn't just another rap beef anymore. It was now a war between two deadly gangs from different states. Not long after this, NBA Youngboy would drop one of his famous murder anthems, Dead Trolls. Youngboy rapped that he can't wait to shoot someone from out of town as soon as they land, and he also seemingly dissed Jania for messing with his ops for money. Some fans also claimed that Youngboy also predicted King Von's death on this same song, because Youngboy rapped about killing someone in Atlanta, the same city where King Von was gunned down. This song was released just 2 months before King Von was killed. Youngboy also claimed that he would do it after their show and Von was killed after performing at a show. Things would continue to get personal between Von and Youngboy. Just 2 days before King Von was killed, Youngboy posted a snippet of a song he made with Asian Doll titled Meet the Reaper. And there were several rumors that NBA Youngboy had given Von a taste of his medicine by allegedly sleeping with Von's ex, just like Von had supposedly done with Johnny. But unfortunately, Von would be killed shortly after this. On the 6th of November 2020, just after midnight in Atlanta, King Von tweeted his location for the evening, stating that he would be at a show at a club in Atlanta called Opium. Von did perform at Opium, and just after 1 a.m., he quoted a tweet from Youngeen Ace and stated that his crew are looking to catch someone he sees as his fruit. Von was clearly in the mood for a fight on this night, and while King Von was performing at Opium, Quando Rondo and his homies were shooting the video for a song called The Drop. Also, King Von left the club in an SUV, and the song playing in the car was Youngboy's song, My Window. But after leaving the club, rather than go back to his Airbnb, he surprised his security team by deciding to go to the Monaco Hookah Lounge, where Quando was also hanging out with his entourage. And when Von was leaving the club, he got into a fight with Quando Rondo in the parking lot with King Von, throwing the first punch. Von was then shot and hit 5 times by Quando's friend, Lil Tim. Von's homies eventually dragged his limp body to a car and took him to a hospital. But what makes this story even crazier is that Von and Lil Tim were taken to the very same hospital, the Grady Memorial Hospital. Quando made the bizarre decision of live streaming how he helped Lil Tim get a quick response at the emergency department of the hospital.
Hold on, you can't move on that.
You got it. My fault.
Yeah.
Man, he's shot. What you mean wrong side? Come on, man, please. Come on, all right. Okay. Get him a wheelchair. Man, what you mean I gotta stay right here?
Later that night, one of Chicago's most notorious gangsters and close friend of Durk and Von, THF Bezu put up a post saying that they would have killed Quando if he hadn't started a live video. Bezu stated that Quando started the live video because he got scared, and truly starting a live video was quite smart, and that might just have been what helped him make it through this night. Fortunately for Quando, Lil Tim survived his injuries, but for King Von, he was already in critical condition when he arrived at the hospital, and despite the hospital staff's best efforts, Von was pronounced dead at exactly 4:48 in the morning. And this was the moment Quando's life changed forever. Unfortunately, Quando had become a walking target, and word on the street was that a $1 million bounty had been placed on his head. 14 days after the shooting, Quando released the song End of Story to share his own version of what happened that night. However, many people felt that Quando was mocking King Von with the name of the song. Everyone knew had a series of songs titled Crazy Story, and Quando's title was suggesting that he was the one who had put an end to King Von's story. On the song End of Story, Quando seemingly confirmed that a $1 million hit had indeed been placed on his head. On the only verse of the song, Quando's lyrics were, "$1 million on my head, that's what they say. That's all you got. Make it 8, come run up on me. Bite the bait slash." Everyone knew someone from Von's camp must have been the one who set the price. And because of the amount that was being talked about, word on the street was that Durk was the one who put the hit on Quando. But it wasn't just about the money that was put on his head. Fans were speculating that Durk was doing his behind the scenes to jeopardize the careers of not just Quando, but also NBA Youngboy. Some reports suggested that many of Quando's shows were canceled because Von had bought all the tables for the show. Durk even rapped on his song Hellcats and Trackhawks that they were looking for someone at his shows. However, although he survived the incident without being shot, you can't deny that Quando was just as much a victim of this incident as Von. Surveillance footage has shown that Von was the one who started the fight by throwing the first punch. Quando even stated that he didn't even know it was Von that punched him till the next day. However, Quando's actions after the shooting has only seen him mocking Von's death and continuously inflaming the situation. First, it started with the title of his song, End of Story. On the same song, Quando also had lines like, "Blood on your brother on the ground, go and pick your mans up." And on his song, Soul Reaper, Quando rapped at someone, but they spanked him, and it's lights out. This was seemingly another reference to the Von situation. But Quando has also continued to drop bars about how dangerous his life has become ever since the Von incident. He once stated that his grandma told him he was close to his casket, and that he always has a gun on him anytime he leaves the house. Because truly, it seems the boys in the street are continuously grinding for that $1 million bag. All of Quando's shows had been canceled because, as I told you earlier, Durk had reportedly bought all the tickets to the show, while the other shows didn't happen because most promoters didn't warn to book Quando for their shows, because the man had simply become a security risk. Everyone knew that the men in the ski masks would pull up to any show that Quando was at and shoot up the place. Quando had to wait 6 months after Von's death before he was finally able to perform again. And at the very first show, Quando almost lost his life. Back in May 2021, Quando Rondo was supposed to perform in Georgia. And for obvious reasons, he was going to perform in front of a small crowd. If you are wondering how small, the crowd was going to be around 500 or less people. Quando also had all of his homies on stage with him as an extra security measure. It seemed everything was going well for Quando, and he was able to finish the show without a hitch. However, just being at the event at all had exposed his location to the ops. Just 3 hours after midnight, and at exactly 3:20 a.m., Quando and his entourage were at the parking lot of a convenience store, just 10 minutes away from the club where Quando performed. Quando Rondo and his homies were shot at from across the street. Fortunately for Quando, he was not hit by any bullet. However, someone in his entourage was hit in the hand and rushed to a nearby hospital. Some sources state that Lil Pab was also with Quando when the shooting happened. And after Quando survived another shooting, he wasn't going to miss a chance to use this incident to clown his ops. Quando, Lil Pab, and the man who shot King Von, Lil Tim, were in a clubhouse chat with OTF's Lil Varney when he decided to remind his ops that they had once again failed to hit him.
I'm saying, though, I wish you ain't miss your mouth. Yeah, he's feeling. That's what's powerful.
Hey, Doe.
Hey, one thing about us, though, we don't do no missing.
Quando was once again mocking OTF and Von's death by making it clear to Lil Varney that unlike his ops who had now missed him twice, he and his homies don't miss. And he didn't stop there. Quando continued and went all in by stating that King Von was dead, and there was nothing his people could do about it.
Mango, and that's the fact he's mad because they mango.
Now, I ain't taking sides here. I'm just here to give you the facts. Quando Rondo and Lil Tim might not have planned to kill King Von, but they have repeatedly shown no remorse for King Von's death. I mean, you would expect that if people have tried to kill you multiple times, you just strap up, keep your mouth shut, and stay vigilant. But that's not the case for Quando. However, after some time, it seems Quando Rondo did try to squash the beef with Lil Durk. Leaked DMs that were allegedly sent by Quando to Lil Durk showed him desperately begging Durk to let them dead the beef. Quando supposedly told Durk that the whole issue was going too far and he could no longer do shows. Rondo wanted to hop on a call with Durk, but he wasn't having it and simply told him to stay safe. It seemed Quando was another man in the DM while pushing a different narrative when he's in the studio and his public antics on social media. Quando eventually came out to deny that he sent Durk any message. He put up a post that simply said, "Don't believe anything on the internet, I ain't DM nobody." And on the 1-year anniversary of King Von's death, Quando seemed to resume the trolling. He tweeted, "I never forgave you for what you did. That hurt me till this day." This was probably a reference to the fact King Von sucker punched him. But it's not only Quando who has continued to diss King Von after he was killed. Even NBA Youngboy took shots at Von as well. Shortly after Quando's tweet, Youngboy was doing a clubhouse interview with DJ Academics, and he decided to have a go at Von as well. He stated that some people come into the industry and start dissing him, but after some time, the same gangsters tend to be around no more.
Man, we see how this turned out we see how this turned out with certain that come inside the rap game and feel like, oh, I'm the one who they gotta get into it with for the reach this certain point of what. Man, boy, you can stink like your ass a gangster, boy, and they ain't gonna show you something, boy. We done seen this. You wanna be a gangster too bad, wanna be a killer too bad, man. You better calm your stupid ass down for you can't have no type of emotion no more, boy.
Youngboy then posted a picture on his Instagram telling his ops to stay safe. This was probably a reference to Durk's reply to Quando's leaked DMs, and also a sort of confirmation that Quando probably sent those messages. And on the 12th of January 2022, NBA Youngboy dissed King Von again on the song Bring the Hook. Youngboy rapped that he's smoking that O-Block pack, and that King Von got folded up in Atlanta, and the disrespect didn't end here. Youngboy then mocked someone whose body was stitched up, and this was another shot at King Von, whose leaked autopsy showed that his body had to be stitched up at the morgue. Youngboy then went on to say that Von must have seen gremlins because of the way that his body shook. And on another song titled No Switch, Youngboy even boasted about the fact that his rapper Quando Rondo was involved in the death of King Von, as he stated that his team are rapper slayers. A few months after this song was released, Lil Durk dropped another verse that got people speculating again about whether he did order the shooting that led to Lil Pab's death. On Gucci Mane's song Rumors that Durk was featured on, he rapped that he only wanted the specific bodies that he paid for. Durk is probably referring to the $1 million bounty that he allegedly placed on Quando Rondo. And this also fueled the speculation that he was behind the Lil Pab shooting. Then he stated that he's following people whenever they are in Atlanta, a city that Quando Rondo surely can't avoid, as Atlanta is currently the most important place to hip-hop. So what do you think? Do you believe that Durk is indeed behind the death of Lil Pab? And if you enjoyed this video, click a video on your screen for more crazy deep dives into your favorite rapper just like this one.
Yeah, there you see it. Most definitely. Make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all smash the like, subscribe, share, comment to my YouTube channel. Make sure you smash in, tap into all the little Durk content that I drop to this YouTube channel. There you see it right there. More information will be coming out. We will be dropping more videos and more content on Little Durk as it goes. And the word is going around. There will be more charges coming to Little Durk. So as I say, make sure y'all tap in, get in, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, share, comment to my YouTube channel, and get that notification button for all Little Durk and all content that I drop to my YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, share, comment to my YouTube channel. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. Lil Durk, OTF.